Okay, I'm going to attempt to go over all the controls of the Ghidorah AA as quickly as possible. There are a lot of buttons, and this is my first video, so I'll probably mumble a little bit and we'll try to get it done. Okay, we're going to start with the mining section of this. On the left here, first button, RF on, turns on the 4 outside rangefinders, mainly for flying through the clouds and not hitting anything. But they do come in handy when mining, pointing in the right direction. To start mining, you have to turn on mining mode, which pulls out this arm, which has your generate on it, your material scanner, distance to your target, which is this beam here, and shows forward and backwards thrust for the approach script. All this stuff up here is pretty basic. The diagnostic screen will show you when your fuel is low or you have a coolant damage or just ship damage in general. Rod time, pretty self-explanatory, and same with propellant and fuel rods. When mining, you want to get lined up with your asteroid. If you want to use approach, the approach button is here or here. Currently the ship is set at 500 meters in the old approach script, so it's going to be a little slow. Also, while mining, you have the option of doing a sweep mode and a pulse mode. Pulse will do 7 on, 7 off lasers. The sweep mode will do a sweep. If you do sweep mode, this is the adjustment lever, so anywhere from 0 sweep all the way up to 20 degrees movement on all of your lasers. And I'll show that on this rock here. So we got approach on, mining mode's on, generate spooled up a bit, so let's see if we can catch this rock. When approach mode is on, the sensitivity levels of the ship are dropped, so it is easier to line up with an asteroid. Still can be a little painful at times, especially if you're further away. Jerked a little bit. What we got? We got a Bacarium rock. Okay. And once we're in about 20, the lasers will turn on automatically and start eating. We're going to turn on sweep and demonstrate that. Typically for these T10s, it's still better to be down around here, about 5, hollow out the center of the rock, and then just maneuver around a little bit. At this point you might want to turn up approach, and pulse, ear cancer. Sound they put in the last update. It was horrible. The reason it's doing that, as soon as you turn on pulse mode, the gen script goes down to 25%. And then it's supposed to ramp up from there. So switching back and forth during mining is a horrible idea. Turn that off. So behind the seat here we have the sensitivity controls for the ship. Um, Basically pitch, sense, yaw, and roll, so you can adjust these up and down as you please to get the ship comfortable for yourself. If you ever get it to a point where you don't like it, push this button and it will reset all of them to their base values. Up on the top here, this side and this side is basically a safety switch. Sorry. If you ever have cruise on and you're going through the belt, if your ship takes any damage, these will start flashing and it will turn cruise off. Also will turn nav and avoidance off if you are in either of those modes. Um, if you don't want that active, you can undo it. If you do have it active, but say you're flying and you go into a fighting mode where you have people with turrets on your ship, if you hit combat, it overrides those buttons. So, I think we got this side pretty well covered. Oh, turtle and cruise. Turtle is only on FCU forward. Limits it to 30%, and cruise is your basic cruise. This side, okay, we'll start here. These two buttons here will bring out the info screen. And as I explain these, I'll explain these. So, bottom button here is fuel. This will open up the 4 hatches around the outside of the ship to change out fuel rods. You cannot be seated. It will not work. No matter how much you try, it will not work. There is a rangefinder under the seat that prevents you from flying away with the fuel doors open because they will break off. So, away from the seat. There we go. There we go. See, rangefinder. You're close to the seat, it won't open. Opens up your 4 fuel doors to go all the way around. And as soon as you get close to the seat again, they automatically close. Since we're doing doors, we might as well do the dungeon button over here, which opens up your YOLO room in the bottom of the ship. Over here. All of these, mine's going to look a little different than yours because I do editing. All the chips are named and they're categorized over here, so these will tell you what all the chips are on both sides. This entire side here is all for the navigation system. Nav Suite put together by Thuckus, and all the authors are there. The only thing you should have to touch here is possibly these 3 chips, and we'll get to that in a minute. Okay. So this set of buttons here, this is your avoidance system. These controls, up and down, basically increase or decrease the maximum speed at which the ship will travel when avoidance is on. We recommend 60, that's what it's been tested at. There is a new avoidance script installed that you might be able to go a little bit faster. Basically, the new script adjusts FCU reverse depending on how close you are to an asteroid. So the closer you are, the more reverse thrust you get. So it should technically allow you to go faster forward, and it has a more aggressive reverse. So you get your speed set up, get the direction you want to be pointing in. Hit the button and pull the lever. If you do not pull the lever, the ship will not move. Cruise does not do anything for avoidance. It has its own independent cruise system built into YOLO. This screen here will show if you're avoiding or not, and the collision distance is distance to anything any of the rangefinders see. But this screen, basically, if it's got a 1 at the top, it means there's a rock at the bottom and it's moving upwards. Same for every other side. Just if you want to stop avoiding, you can either hold reverse, and at full FC reverse, it will cancel avoidance, nav, or cruise. Or you can just simply push the avoidance button. Let's get in the shade. Next set of buttons. This is nothing to do with avoidance. This is a compass. It came with nav suite. Don't like compasses. Somebody wanted one. There's a compass. Same rod time is over there. This GPS readout is part of the nav suite package. So it shows your basic coordinates, your speed, and then the distance to your destination, which if you have a waypoint selected, we'll go through that now. Nav button. It activates nav. We'll show that in a second. The waypoint selection screen, it shows what one you currently have selected, and these are your selection buttons. You can go up or down and pick a waypoint. You can hold the button to go through them. If you want to go to like number 30, and the home button will take you back to 1. This screen obviously shows the current waypoint number. Once you get to the one you want to be going to, so we're going to go to 3. You'll hit this button, which loads the waypoint into the navigation system. Once your waypoint is loaded, you hit the nav button. Again, this does come into play. This lever does not, but this is the maximum speed of which the navigation system will run. Since it does run with avoidance, we do suggest 60, but again, you might be able to go a little bit higher. We should point over there. And with us being so far out, iSand's a little goofy, so... But yeah, we're going to go to my station. So how the navigation system works, once it gets within 1,000 meters, it cuts power and drifts. If it drifts and it stays within 1,000 meters, it'll turn itself off. If it does not stay within 1,000 meters, say you drift too far, it will turn back on and circle around. Autopilot and avoidance are not guaranteed, they're just convenience items, so please be careful if you use them. And again, if you want to shut it off, you can either hit the button or full FC reverse, and it will turn them off. Ping will turn your transponder on for about 10 seconds and then automatically turn it off. Combat mode, like I stated over here with the gen script. Basically, combat will boost your generators to 50%. It's for if you have tripods mounted on the ship. And tripods require power, so if you're flying, you need a little bit more power. You can just turn on the combat button. It'll deactivate, it'll disable the collision detection system, and you can hopefully fend off any pirates. The fill mode button will change the mode at which your resource points are set at. So refill out, so you're transferring propellant out. In, you're bringing propellant in from another ship or a fueling station on a station, and then mining, which in and out. Then safe mode, you can change this mining on, so this will basically, anytime you turn on mining mode, it will automatically turn on turtle. Manual, so it will not turn on turtle if you're in the mining mode, and then full safe, which basically anytime you change any of the modes, the turtle will go on. Let's see, I think I've got everything up here. Top of the ship. We have a seat up here. just has FCU forward, pitch, and yaw controls, cruise, and combat. And this is basically if you're on top of your ship coming through the warp gate and, you know, getting ready to fight a pirate. You got your resource bridge up here you can connect to for your power, get on your tripods, and hopefully survive. This here, these are 3 tank supports. They are all wired together. They are not connected to the ship network. It is a refuel station. So if you're out and about, running low on fuel at a station, pick up a tank, and you can just refuel the ship from one of these ports to these ports, change your refuel mode, ta-da, you're ready to go. Has all 3 benches. They do not come with any upgrades because they're not in SSC, so you have to manually put on your upgrades. The navigation receivers are mounted weirdly. There's one here, there, and one on the bottom of the ship. That is for the nav suite package. Basically, they determine the coordinates between the 2 on the top will determine the angle of what you're moving, and same with the one on the top and the bottom. They're all lined up perfectly so that autopilot works properly. Let's go back to the bottom of the ship. We have another chair down here for the same purposes as the top, just in case, or even if you're in a collision and you need a place. A couple extra buttons never hurt anybody, a couple extra levers has saved my ships many times. And then another button for the YOLO room. Again, we've went through this. The only thing on this side you may need to touch are these 3 chips right here, and these are where your waypoints are saved. So, to demonstrate, we're going to go to, I don't have number 4 used, so we'll go to number 4. See, it's marked at 000. So, we want to save my current location to the waypoint. You hit save. Sometimes you gotta hold the button. There we go. So it saved the waypoint to number 4, and here's this location. So you see it, so that's unnamed right now. You can go down under the ship, back to the YOLO room, and these 3 chips should be all 30 waypoints. So open up Universal Tool, find waypoint. You just saved waypoint 4, and you can basically delete anything here that's in brackets and name it whatever you want, and that will show up on the screen. As far as inputting custom coordinates, you can rename center, because that just means 000, and then just go over to the values, change the zeros to whatever your locations are. You want to go 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, you can change them all to 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. It's pretty easy. And let's see, anything else? Warp core is located here. I took mine off, but left the brackets on so it's easy to install. I think that's pretty much the controls of the ship. Quick flyby, see if I missed anything. If anybody has any questions or problems, feel free to contact us in our Discord. We're pretty active, and we do regular updates of our ships, so if there is an issue, I'm pretty quick at fixing it and getting a new version released so nobody else has the same issue. Thank you.